Welcome back to Lazy History Club, where the history's weird, the tea is warm, and we don't judge you for believing frogs can speak Latin. Today's tale comes from the most powerful institution of the medieval world, the Catholic Church. But forget solemn hymns and holy rituals, because today we're talking about a magical toad. Yes, a toad that allegedly helped a man become pope by summoning the devil and granting him wishes. Also, it talked, and it demanded snacks. So sit back, sip your heresy-safe beverage, and prepare for a story that is 100% real and 1000% ridiculous. We begin in Avignon, France, around the 1320s. Back then, the papacy had temporarily relocated from Rome to Avignon, thanks to politics, power struggles, and a general sense of let's move somewhere with better wine. One man, Pope John XXIII, rose to the top, but not without controversy. His enemies weren't just whispering about bribery or politics. No, they claimed he used a toad to summon the devil and rig the election. Because obviously, that's how you win papal power. You call Satan through a frog. This wasn't even a fringe theory. It was formally investigated, and not just by conspiracy nuts, by church officials. There were interrogations, confessions, accusations of amphibian sorcery. So how did this ridiculous accusation come to light? Well, a man named Bernard Delicieux, a friar and low-key chaos agent, claimed that Pope John had made a pact with demons using a toad as a go-between. Why? Because the toad was, quote, the familiar of the devil. Apparently, this frog didn't just croak. It spoke, it glowed, it demanded snacks, usually breadcrumbs or blood, casual. And get this, multiple people confessed under oath that this was true. Confessions at the time were, let's say, encouraged through creative methods. So it's unclear whether they believed this or just wanted the pain to stop. Either way, the church took it very seriously. This wasn't a joke. It was heresy, witchcraft, treason against God via toad. According to witnesses, here's how the magic toad ritual went. You place the toad in a circle, drawn with a consecrated knife. You offer it blood or cake. Those were the two options. No one knows why. The toad's eyes glow red, and it begins to speak the names of helpful demons. You ask it for power, success, or a better papal campaign strategy. Sometimes the toad would vomit a scroll, revealing dark prophecies or tips on blackmailing rival bishops. Now you might be thinking, this sounds like a Monty Python sketch that got out of hand. But no, this was taken so seriously that the Inquisition conducted full-blown trials about it. The key accusation, that Pope John XXII had used the toad to rig the papal election, and that the devil helped him win. Which raises important theological questions like, can demons vote? Do they require ID? What happens if the toad has stage fright? One confession included this gem. The toad would only speak after being fed, and if denied, would begin to levitate in protest. So, not only is this toad demonic, it's also hangry and dramatic. Witnesses claimed the toad preferred cake to blood, because even the devil's minions know gluten is delicious. If not fed promptly, it would. Glare, smoke, or burp, infernal Latin phrases. We don't know who trained this toad, but we assume they were either a druid, a very bored monk, or a small child with a vivid imagination. Still, the church kept detailed notes. There were drawings, charts. One bishop tried to debate the toad. Allegedly, he lost. So, what did the church do with all this? They launched a full investigation, not just into the toad, into John XXIII's entire papacy. They interrogated witnesses, exorcists, and even kitchen servants, just in case someone saw the toad asking for dessert. Eventually, several monks were convicted of sorcery. Others were imprisoned. Some were executed. And as for Pope John, he denied everything. He kept his job, died peacefully. And the toad vanished, probably back to hell, or a swamp in Provence. So what's the legacy of this tale? Historians now think the whole toad thing was political slander. Fake news, 14th century style. Accusing someone of devil-worshipping frog ownership was the medieval version of calling someone a lizard person on Twitter. But here's what makes it so iconic. It was documented, it was investigated, and at no point did anyone say, "Hold on, this is bananas." Instead, they said, yes, of course the talking toad prefers blood cake. Makes sense. It's a reminder that even in the halls of power, with robes and scrolls and sacred rites, sometimes everyone just loses their minds over a magical frog. So what did we learn today? The medieval church had no chill when it came to frogs. You can apparently rig an election with the right amphibian and some pastries, and if a toad ever starts glowing and floating, just give it cake. Pope John XXIII may have gone down in history for his reforms and politics, but here at Lazy History Club, he'll always be the guy accused of summoning the devil with a hungry frog. Thanks for watching. Stay weird, stay cozy, and remember, if your pet starts speaking Latin, call someone.